Powerops automatically evaluates the best practices for both the report and model layers using industry standard best practices. This will help you to build better quality reports and models. In the overview section, you can see the total number of rules and how many of them that have failed or passed. Each one of the subsections can either be navigated to by selecting the cards below that indicates the number of passed or failed rules, or you can use the navigation banner here at the top. Let's start by exploring the report rule sets, which is something that is unique to Powerops. We can see that there are currently 9 rules being analyzed, with 4 of them having failed and 5 of them having passed. Taking a look down below, we can see that there is a rule for removing custom visuals which are not used in the report, and we can determine that there are 13 custom visuals that are in this PBIX that are not used on any report page. Similarly, we have another rule over here that is indicating that the visuals must use the theme colors and that there is a visual that is currently using a color outside of the theme. Within each of these rules as well, you'll notice an M and an L, so these indicate the severity of the rule set themselves. So L means low, M will mean medium, and if we come over, as an example, to the performance section over here, which is analyzing the actual model, we can see an H, which will represent the high severity rules, which in this case is checking to see if there is a bidirectional or many-to-many relationship that is in the model itself. Plus, when applicable, some of these rules as well will also provide reference links to articles to help explain why this rule is important. You might notice that some of these rules are actually following the Microsoft Rule Best Practices, or some of the rule sets that are part of the Best Practices Analyzer that is included with Tabular Editor. Now, Powerops will come with a rule set out of the box, but a couple of options are available for you to customize this. If we come up to the upper right and select the gear icon, we will see that there's an option for best practice rules, where the Powerops default is included in here. You can also use the Microsoft best practices rules, which also includes a link which will open up a web page for further information. But we also have an option down at the bottom for custom, where it allows you to use a GitHub link to the JSON code for the rule set, or where you can upload a JSON file itself. Let's go ahead and look at a web page for the URL that we can paste into here. Copy this out and come back to Powerops. You can paste that into here, and we'll select Apply. Notice that the number of rules has changed, and on the overview set, we've gone from a much higher set of rules to a standard core set of rules that was used from that URL, which is now being fed into Powerops. Additionally, if we come back up to this, we can, as well as including a URL, upload a file that has the JSON rule set in there as well, selecting Browse, and selecting BPA rules, and we can upload a file, and once again, let's watch the number of rules that are listed in here change after we apply this. Plus, as we're making these changes, one last thing to mention under the gear icon is the fact that we can apply this to all of the files as a rule set or to this single file only. And last but not least, clicking cancel for any of the rule sets that we have linked to, either through a URL or a file, we can come up to edit rules up in the upper right, and in here we have an option for any of these sections to be able to enable or disable the rules, but we can also change some of the attributes as well. So if we click the edit icon, we can change whether or not it's enabled, what name we'd like to give to it, also indicating the severity of it, and a description as needed with either notes or URLs that we would want to provide into there, plus also a scope of what section this rule should apply to, which can be one or more of these sections. And finally, the rule expression editor down here at the bottom, plus a validate expression option to make sure that the code has been written correctly. But overall, hopefully this video helps, and don't forget to visit powerops.app to learn more.